So it's all a give and take. And whatever you are giving, you will receive back just as much. And then it's this constant ping pong back between you two in a relationship, in a connection manner that really creates strong foundations where people are not going to leave this studio, not because you are the best, but because they will never get that environment and that interaction, that intimacy with you on an energetic, on a mental, on an emotional, and on a physical level. Okay. So remember, if you ever worry about what is my niche market, what defines me really maybe differently to someone else is really why you feel, why you think your people are seeking you, or why people are coming to the studio. And why are they coming to the studio? Are they coming to the studio for you? Are they coming to the studio for themselves? Well, let me disappoint you. People care about themselves first. And that's the beauty of our job, is that actually the more selfishly they think about themselves, the more business we will do on our end, because they put themselves first by walking into the studio where they are handing over to some extent the responsibility and the strategy over to you to make them feel even better or even more, whatever they're after. So people don't care about Pilates when they come to Pilates. Please get this in your head. Very few come to Pilates because of Pilates. They care about how much you care about them. Okay. So they want to be able to delegate, to leverage this over to you. And we make the mistake as Pilates teachers that we think people come to Pilates because they're interested in Pilates. They really care about how they can do, how they can feel, and yes, Alexandra, how they can look better. How will you meet their essential needs? Now, of course, they don't understand that. They didn't ask themselves that question. But unconsciously, and 96% of our day is purely unconscious, this is hidden behind their request of doing Pilates, walking into the studio. And the one thing that generally all people need when they are seeking help and advice or support is that they want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to be understood in all situations of life. In the masterminds, we're working on moving our mind, moving our psychology to a place where it is supporting and assisting our body. And is our Pilates movement, or is our Pilates emotion, in motion? And it's the idea of understanding also that Pilates is not just exercising, it is also muscling our emotion. It is about muscling our state. And that's what you said, Christiane, is when suddenly you feel this 2 millimeter shift, suddenly there is another emotion available to you because it connects you to a deeper level. It connects you to your heart. It connects you to your different part in the brain that is giving you a completely different experience in your body than the one that is purely cognitive from the cortex, from the frontal lobe of your brain, just doing by executing. You can do Pilates by executing a movement, or you can do Pilates by living a movement. And that's a very different story when you move people doing the work, executing, or if you move people through living and experiencing and embodying the work. And that's the main difference that I feel makes you a Pilates teacher or a Pilates teacher. Okay, that's what the difference between somebody who masters the art and the science of Pilates or that applies the art and the science. Okay, there is a different degree of knowing. So write this down if you haven't already got that in your mind, imprinted, that the transformational skills of the psyche are based on 20% purely mechanics, which is the motion, the movement, and 80% psychology and state, which is everything linked to the emotions. And then another way also to respond to fear, to suffering, is to fight. Okay, I must, or they flight, they run away, I cannot. And this is basically where you have to be able over time, when you are working with people who are in a difficult place in their life, to catch whether they are communicating or showing signs of lack longer. You delete and you forget what you want to forget. But understand how when people come to your studio, when people come to you, you're dealing with a person who potentially is in the process of having 60,000 thoughts in their mind, and they're going to generalize, distort, and delete probably the majority of what you're going to have them do or have them experience in that class. So take your workbook, please. And I want you to connect to what's the belief or the emotion that's currently limiting you being an obstacle. What is actually holding you back right now? What is the belief or the emotion that is currently limiting you being an obstacle right now in your journey, in your life? We can connect with anybody digitally. The trainings I go to, we are sometimes, the last training we were at, we were 3 million people connected on Zoom. 3 million people on Zoom. It's insane what innovation and digitalization is doing for us if we can use it for a greater cause. And if we do something, and Rachel, you chose to change your life. You chose to manifest this. And now you're going with the flow. You're doing it. It didn't just happen. The happening only happens when you are willing to do something about it and you're willing to take a decision. And that's sometimes the hardest thing to do, is to take a decision.